The battle for the mid-range smartphone. Today we're comparing the Samsung A8 with the Huawei Nova 3E. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video here on EMKWAN Reviews. So these two mid-range smartphones are going head to head. The contenders are the Samsung A8 with the Huawei Nova 3E, also referred to in some markets as a P20 Lite. There's a lot in common in terms of specs, price range, and also the positioning in the market that they're aiming for, but there are also some differences and some major differences. So in this video, what I hope to do is make your life easier by giving you some examples of the differences to help you make an informed choice about which smartphone is right for you. So right off the bat, there is a difference in terms of thickness and in weight. The Nova 3E is definitely lighter and slimmer than the A8. It's lighter by about 15%, and for some people the heft on the A8 might be an advantage, but for me personally, I felt that the slimness and the lightness on the Nova 3E was better. Now both of them also have a fingerprint scanner on the back, but the positioning is different, and again I think the Nova 3E has better placing of the fingerprint scanner because it's not close to that dual camera, and we'll talk about the dual camera on the Nova 3E in a moment. But they also share the fact that they both have USB-C in terms of sync and charge, and both of these also have the 3.5mm headphone jack. Now the major difference between the two of them comes on initially the display. The display, you'll notice on the Nova 3E, is much bigger than the A8. You have a notch at the top. Some people are a fan of the notch, some people aren't. On the Nova 3E you have 5.84 inches, whereas on the A8 you have 5.6 inches for the display. The display on the A8 I felt was slightly better because it's Super AMOLED, but the IPS screen on the Nova 3 is perfectly fine, and to be honest, I much rather go with larger screen real estate than those bezels. Now the front-facing camera on both of them, you have a 24 megapixel front-facing camera on the Nova 3E, which doubles up as facial recognition. It's fast, very fast. The A8 has a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, which is also used for facial recognition, and that is also very fast. So I think the difference is there in terms of speed for unlocking using facial recognition isn't major. Now there is a big difference on the back. You'll notice that the A8 has a single camera essentially, as opposed to the dual camera setup of the Nova 3E. You have 16 megapixels on the A8 with autofocus, but on the Nova 3E you have a dual camera setup, 16 megapixels with 2 megapixels, and they both have autofocus. Now that means that the images on the Nova 3E are actually a little more crispier, clearer than the A8, and also the ability to manually set the right settings for your pictures are there and make it easier on the Nova 3E. So in terms of speed now, well, both of them run 4 gigabytes of RAM, and they both have 64 gigabytes of inbuilt storage, but there is a difference slightly in the CPU. So as far as the CPU, you have a 2.36 gigahertz octa-core Kirin 659 processor on the Nova 3E and a 2.2 gigahertz octa-core processor on the A8. Now in day-to-day use there isn't a major difference in speed, but that is something to be aware of. I do feel that the slight AI focus on the 659 Kirin processor might help, and particularly you'll notice that according to Huawei when you're using the camera. So those are the major differences. In terms of one final difference, right out of the box the Nova 3E uses Android Oreo version 8, whereas on the A8 you're running Android version 7.1.1, which is Nougat. So look guys, in terms of differences between the two of them, when it comes to those key areas of the screen and the dual camera setup on the Nova 3E, then that might be something that is more advantageous because they're priced at a similar price range. But those are the similarities and differences there in front of you. Anyway guys, if you've enjoyed this video, remember to smash that like button down below. Leave your comment as well. Which one of these two smartphones do you prefer? And until next time, I'm EMKWAN. I'll see you soon here on EMKWAN Reviews.